Okay, so very quickly, 5 minutes. The IAP is basically a framework because certain technologies are so high cost and so risky, and different industries have shown that when it comes to risk and cost, they are actually unwilling to collaborate. So the IAP is a nice framework where different industrial partners can come together and share the risk, share talent, and justify costs. In this way, IMEC has also positioned itself in a way that it is able to get co-ownership on IP. And in that way, it puts IMEC itself in a very strong position within an IAP framework. Okay, now I will pass on to Nora, who will talk about specific example of 3D integration.
As Chopin said, by collaborating in an IAP, the companies are able to reduce their costs and risk to the applied research because everyone takes a part of it. And in the 3D system integration in the IMEC, there are 34 industrial partners which are working together on one innovation ecosystem. These companies and partners come from different parts. They are end users, further next to electronic design vendors, test companies, and also equipment and material suppliers, which work together to solve this one big problem with the advantages of collaboration. And then Sinara goes on with task 2.
So in order to reduce costs and risks and collaboration with some solutions, IMEC makes agreements with some assumptions to stimulate the collaboration. So IP is available since the beginning of the project and is assessed by all partners. And during the project, there is kind of division between beforehand IP beforehand, and IP forehand. The beforehand is kind of IP IMEC, and is available, as I said, for partners. And the forehand IP is what is created during the project. And there is a different ownership regime, depends on the collaboration and the contribution of the partners. So it seems just IMEC is the owner, passing by the kind of co-ownership and with cross license, and then just the partner is the owner of the IP, which is created during the project. And it's kind of interesting because there is a mix between shared and exclusivity owned IP between the partner of the project. Maybe Branimir, do you want to complement?
Sure. Thank you, Sinara. Just shortly return. Yeah, okay. Basically, what's interesting here is that although the specific thing is that although the foreground IP is being licensed to the partners, there are certain extents and certain cases where their specific approaches can be by partners to have a different regime, and they can even have exclusivity. In case there would be for their technological purpose or in their view there would need to be a certain type of development which would be needed to be exclusively being made available for those EIP partners. So that would be a case for R1 and R2, basically where a certain research could be done by request from IIP partner with the IMEC, but this research, the foreground IP created there, would be only general knowledge would be disseminated in the R1 example, or in the R2 example where all of the IP generated in that regime would be provided exclusively to the IP partner, and not to all of them, but to only that particular one. So this basically says or this shows us that within this kind of a management principle, any kind of IP regime could be envisaged, and therefore all of the partners could find a benefit for them there. Thank you.
To make sure a long-term success, one of the important method is to create a dual-core orchestration module, and this module means there will be a cooperation between the first orchestra and the second orchestra, and they are the that means there's a collaboration between the complementers. Please next. And in order to allow all participants to participate and share their science and technology, this module has adjusted the attribution of IP rights, and the principle is the IP agreements between the IMEC, that is the first orchestration, and this there's between IMEC and the its own ecosystem will remain the same, and then second is the IP owner will be based on contributions and the location. That means who creates the invention and who owns the IP right. The second is the contribution in the others field give rise to co-ownership of its own ecosystem partners. The third is it's about the IP writers cooperation, that is cross-license for internal use, and this right for each orchestra to grant sub-license to its own ecosystem partners when there's no interference between this.
And to sum up on the IP management principles of the dual-core, dual-site orchestration model, we can say that each orchestrator has the chance to license one another the complementary IP rights originating from each site. So the orchestrator of each site can sub-license these rights to the collaborators in their systems. Therefore, all collaborators are actually benefiting from this dual-core, dual-site orchestration model. And maybe in the long run, we can say that there is a low chance of facing a freedom to operate problem when the collaborators want to exploit these inventions, which would be a benefit for all the contributors of the system. So this is all from Group 3.